So where do we start with this one?
Don't get paid.
Yes, boxing fans, this is Ian Mathias for the Mob Predictions. November the 6th, for the Undisputed Super Middleweight Championship of the World, we see the WBA, WBC, WBO and IBF titles all up for grabs as Canelo Alvarez takes on CaneloPlant live from the MGM Grand Las Vegas, live on Showtime pay-per-view and BT Sports box office in the UK. A fight to become the first Undisputed Super Middleweight Champion, a feat that evaded great fighters such as Roy Jones Jr., James Toney, Joe Calzaghe, Andre Ward, to name a few. There has been a lot of bad blood in the build-up to this one, and CaneloPlant has gone about making this one personal. As we know, Canelo received a 6-month ban for testing positive in 2018 for clenbuterol, which he blamed on Mexican beef. Plant has made it very open that he thinks this is bullcrap. Billy Joe did make small references, but Plant has taken it to a completely different level out in Canelo at the recent press conference. Before we get into looking at this fight, the tail of the tape. Canelo Alvarez, highly regarded as the world's #1 pound-for-pound boxer on the planet. 59 fights, 56 wins, 2 draws and a loss. The loss was to the great Floyd Mayweather. He stands at 5'8" with a 70.5-inch reach. Canelo is 31. His opponent is the current IBF champion Caleb Sweet Hands Plant. He's 21 fights with 21 wins, 12 KOs. Plant stands at 6'1" with a 74-inch reach, and he's 29 years old. Plant will be looking to make the 5th defence of his IBF title, and will be looking to take on an absolute monster in this fight. Introducing first, Canelo Alvarez. With all the build-up that's gone on in this fight, how will this affect Canelo? Will he look to be more aggressive than usual, or will he keep a calm head and stick to his usual plan? As a fighter, he is phenomenal. He dictates the fight with his footwork and constant feints, always keeping you under pressure. He never lets his opponents get settled to throw player punches. When an opponent does manage to leave his hands go, his head movement is superb. He doesn't take much punishment. Canelo turned pro at the age of 15. He's been a pro for 16 years. He has seen every possible style out there. There's nothing that's going to come and shock him with anything different. And coupled along with his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, although there are a lot of suspicions about the gym, Reynoso is a fantastic trainer. He does improve fighters. That has to be said for him. Whenever Canelo is faced with a boxer, like a slick boxer, everyone always refers back to Floyd Mayweather. Obviously Floyd was the person to beat Canelo, but Floyd is an all-time great. Yes, Lara gave him some issues, but Canelo won that fight. Other boxers, Billy Joe was probably the slickest fighter he's fought. Mexicans don't typically like dealing with southpaws, but Canelo dealt handily with Billy Joe. So against CaneloPlant, yes, he's going to see a slick moving boxer, but it's not something that's going to worry Canelo too much. In the last 12 months we've got to see Canelo fight 3 times, producing a bullying performance against Callum Smith to take his WBA belt. He then followed that up with a mandatory shot against Avil Yildirim, who he battered in 3 rounds. It was pretty much a no contest without little effort Yildirim put in. And then in May he fought Billy Joe Saunders for the WBO title, and after 8 fairly competitive rounds, Canelo landed a monster uppercut that brought the eye socket of Billy Joe. For me, and rightly so, Canelo is the pound-for-pound #1 in boxing. He is an excellent counter-puncher, being able to exploit openings in his opponent's guard while avoiding punches. That slick head and body movement that he does have. He's also a fantastic body puncher. Last time out when he fought the bigger, taller man in Callum Smith, he worked the body and wore his opponent down. He also infamously worked the bicep of Smith so he couldn't throw his dangerous right hand. When you look at Canelo's resume, he has fought absolutely everyone. He's fought Love Mountain, Matthew Hatton, he's fought Kermit Cintron, Shane Mosley, obviously he's fought Floyd Mayweather. He had a difficult night against Austin Trout, Eriswan De Lara, he's fought Cotto, he's fought Amir Khan, Liam Smith. the 2 fights with Golovkin, Danny Jacobs, Sergey Kovalev, Callum Smith. The guy's resume is absolutely second to none. The Golovkin fights, for me, I had Golovkin winning the first one and the second one, but Canelo obviously went and got the decision, and the man who is standing in Canelo's way of achieving his goal to be undisputed is CaneloPlant. Good news for CaneloPlant is he does have some advantages in this fight. He does, in my opinion, I think he has the slight speed advantage. He has the height. He has a long jab. With his height and his reach, is he going to be able to keep Canelo off? Does he have the power to deter Canelo from marching in, his little head movement, stalking his prey and looking to weigh down Plant? As mentioned, in the Callum Smith fight, Canelo just worked the body of Smith, the taller man, broke him down to where in the last round he was just saying, "Hey, are you okay?" He knew that he had his man beat. Could we be seeing a similar fight here for Plant? Or will Plant exceed all expectations? If you go back and look at his best wins, it's not impressive. Jose Uzcategui is probably the best win on his record, but there are names that are lacking. To prepare for a Canelo Alvarez fight, beating a 40-year-old Caleb Truax maybe isn't the best preparation. He's had the opportunity to fight David Benavidez, but I can understand why you would turn down a dangerous fight when you have the chance to make your career high payday against Canelo. With a 57% KO ratio, it is a concern. When you see Canelo walk through Golovkin's punches and not get deterred, you are going to wonder how CaneloPlant can put a dent in the Mexican. There is also that pressure on Plant. He has to win the rounds convincingly. He can't just steal a round against Canelo. Being in Las Vegas, being the favourite, being the cash cow, Canelo is going to get the rub of the green. Plant is going to have to go out there and be convincing. As mentioned, for me, Golovkin won the first fight, but not even a Golovkin could get the decision against Canelo. There could be a point in this fight where Plant is losing, his game plan isn't working, and he's just going to have to bite down on his gum shield and try and turn it into a war. I don't even know if that would improve his chances of winning, but I'd like to think he's not just the type of fighter who's going to keep with his game plan when it's not going wrong. The one thing that disappointed me about Callum Smith was he didn't really change anything. Or is it a case that Canelo's just too good that even if you do try and change your game plan, he has you figured out already? Is Plant going to be able to keep the variety in his work to not let Canelo figure him out? So the prediction on this one, I would really like to make a fantastic argument for CaneloPlant winning this fight and upsetting the apple cart and beating Canelo Alvarez, but I can't do it. He has not fought anyone near the level of Canelo. He's fought nowhere level of a Danny Jacobs, who's Canelo beat rather comfortable. A lot of people that Canelo have beat, CaneloPlant hasn't fought anywhere near their level. So it's really difficult to say, yes, he's going to step up and pull out the performance of a lifetime and beat Canelo, because we've not seen anything near this level for him. It could be a case of him being like a deer in the headlights, and this being a short fight, especially if Canelo is a more aggressive style than usual. Plant, for me, it does worry me that he leaves his left hand low. He is, at some stage in this fight, going to get cracked by Canelo's overhand right. I can see that doing damage. Plant's chin hasn't really been tested, but it is going to get tested on November the 6th. I can't see anything but a Canelo Alvarez knockout victory. I think the pressure that he will impose on Plant, I think he will want to make a statement after the bad blood in the build-up, and I feel that he's going to get a knockout in round 7. After this, what is Canelo going to do? He will then be undisputed at super middleweight. Does he fight a David Benavidez? Does he push for a Golovkin trilogy? Does he look to entice Charlo up? Or does he take on the most difficult of assignments that he can, which will be taking a fight with Artur Beterbiev. I'm not sure how Canelo will go and will make his moves next, but it would be fantastic to see him fight for the 3rd time this year, and I can't see anything else but Canelo Alvarez being undisputed champion and the first undisputed super middleweight champion. This has been Ian Mathias for the Mob Predictions. Catch you soon.